Historic footage has come to light showing American troops of the 27th Infantry Division preparing for battles in France during World War I. The 27th Infantry, formed in 1917, was one of only 3 American divisions from New York and had over 27,000 enlisted men. They sustained 8,209 casualties during WWI video clips show officers arriving at a vast base located in the valley of the River Somme, in France, host to the Battle of the Somme, which took place just before the men arrived. Moment young seal is cut free from fishing nets. Moment when driver stops dead on major motorway to catch exit. JetBlue kicks family of 5 off a flight in Fort Lauderdale. Catfish confronted after he was caught using male model photos. Moment abusive drunk passenger wrestled off flight by police. Amazing lightning strikes Worthing as town is battered by storms. Lightning strikes off Brighton Beach as UK is hit by electrical storm. Captured Islamic State fighters held in crowded prison. Policeman caught on TV celebrating escape win after calling in sick. Louise Minchin admits she came in with her dress on backwards. She going to burn in hell. Acid attack victim on his attacker air. Canada passengers stranded at Gatwick after burst tire fiasco. The 27th Infantry was one of only 3 American divisions formed from New York and had over 27,000 enlisted men. They sustained 8,209 casualties during WWI. Historic video clips show officers arriving at a vast base located in the valley of the River Somme, in France, host to the Battle of the Somme. The 27th Division was called into service on July 15, 1917 and moved to Camp Wadsworth, near Spartanburg, South Carolina, in August for intensive training before heading to France for battle in spring 1918. The division moved toward embarkation camps. Its advance detachment left Hoboken, New Jersey, on May 2 and arrived in Brest, France, a week later. In late June, the rest of the division joined them. 3 million men fought in the Battle of the Somme, making it one of the bloodiest battles in history. The American soldiers of the 27th Division arrived in France after the First Battle of the Somme, however, and helped carry out a series of offensives in the Somme region in 1918. Soldiers at a training base in Corbett, France, are shown in the footage going through marching drills. They can also be seen taking part in sporting activities such as boxing and sprinting, which helped boost the morale of the men who had flown halfway across the world to fight. The 27th Infantry Division's insignia was designed to reflect this, with the letters NYD, standing for New York Division, forming a monogram within a large O after their commander John F. Fearon. Soldiers at a training base in Corbett, France, are shown in the footage going through marching drills. They can also be seen taking part in sporting activities such as boxing and sprinting, which helped boost the morale of the men who had flown halfway across the world to fight. When they weren't boxing and sprinting through July 1919, the group trained with British mentors France, and toward the end of summer the division moved toward Somme. The 27th Infantry Division's insignia was designed to reflect this, with the letters NYD, standing for New York Division, forming a monogram within a large O after their commander John F. Fearon. The troops, also known as Aarons Roughnecks, saw plenty of action on the battlefield during the First World War, fighting at the Battle of Dekushbusha Lake and the Battle of Bierstrategerian. Pictured above can be seen in the footage overseeing a boxing tournament in the company of other generals. Harrigan can be seen in the footage overseeing a boxing tournament in the company of other generals. The 27th Division was called into service on July 15, 1917 and moved to Camp Wadsworth, near Spartanburg, South Carolina, in August for intensive training. In spring 1918, the division moved toward embarkation camps. Its advance detachment left Hoboken, New Jersey, on May 2, 1918, and arrived in Brest, France, a week later. In late June of the same year, the rest of the division joined them in Europe. The troops, also known as Aarons Roughnecks, saw plenty of action on the battlefield during the First World War and took part in the Second Battle of the Somme. The Great Somme Push, which lasted from September 24, 1918, to October 1, 1918, saw the division engage in severe fighting along the St. Quentin Canal Tunnel. Following heavy losses, the division was placed on reserve for rest 6 days later. However, the group was back in action and moved toward Bussigny. The 27th Division worked with British forces and the 30th Division to break open the Hindenburg Line, a key German defensive position. Upon cracking the Hindenburg Line open, the Germans retreated from their final position and were forced into a final confrontation with the group. In all, The 27th Infantry Division saw 6,533 battle casualties. Of the 6,533, 1,512 were killed in action, 4,980 were wounded, 40 were missing in action, and one became a prisoner of war. The troops, also known as Aryan's Roughnecks, saw plenty of action on the battlefield during the First World War, fighting at the Battle of Dekushbusha Lake and the Battle of Bierstraat in September 1918. They fought in the Somme offensive, a series of successful counter-offensives in response to German fighting significantly. They were successful in breaking the Hindenburg Line during the Somme offensive, forcing the German retreat, which led to a successful final confrontation for the Allied forces at Selle River. Upon the success of this final mission, surviving members of the division were sent home in February 1919. In all, the 27th Infantry Division saw 7,837 battle casualties. Of the casualties, 1,795 were killed and 6,414 were wounded, lasting 141 days. The Battle of the Somme was the bloodiest battle of the First World War. Around 420,000 British soldiers, 200,000 Frenchmen and 500,000 Germans were killed in the battle. The British and French joined forces to fight the Germans on a 15-mile-long front, with more than 1 million people killed or injured on both sides. The battle started on July 1, 1916, and lasted until November 19, 1916. The British managed to advance 7 miles but failed to break the German defense. On the first day alone, 19,240 British soldiers were killed after going over the top, and more than 38,000 were wounded. But on the last day of the battle, the 51st Island Division took Beaumont Hamel and captured 7,000 German prisoners. The plan was for a big push to relieve the French forces, who were besieged further south at Verdun, and break through German lines. Although it did take pressure off Verdun, it failed to provide a breakthrough, and the war dragged on for another 2 years.